In the great crucible of sports, people are refined and stripped bare. Power, talent, charisma, character all come sharply into focus. This process can show us something truly inspiring or downright ugly. Well, nothing seems to show this contrast more clear than the recent accomplishments of quarterback Drew Brees and the holdouts and disrespect of various position players around the NFL. But what is not a shock is how the media doesn't seem to see a difference. There are great men in the NFL we can all look up to, and others, not so much. I'm Ben Davies, this is Pure Hollywood. So tell me, how many times around the NFL have you heard people in the media say this? Pay the man, he just wants what he deserves. Or people like Michael Wilbon who compare the owners who pay the checks and their teams to plantation owners. Oh, ESPN, stop it. The first high-profile example, we have to start with running back Le'Veon Bell of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who demands more money and a longer contract. Well, if you listen to Le'Veon and most analysts, you would think that he's really being shortchanged, right? I mean, he knows what he's worth, right? Well, so does the organization, who would have made him the highest paid running back in the league this year, making almost $14.5 million, giving up almost $1 million per game holding out, which by the way means this year he'd be paid more than Jared Goff or Carson Wentz. Another example is the ever vocal safety from the Seahawks, Earl Thomas. You may remember him as the guy who was holding out all offseason and has been refusing to practice before games because he's not appreciated or being paid enough by the team and wants a new, bigger, longer-term contract. Unfortunately, Earl Thomas suffered an injury against the Cardinals and was carted off the field. Did he take time to wave to the team and fans that supported him? No, he didn't. He flicked off the entire sideline and the fans. And here's why Earl Thomas is wrong and showed his true colors. He wasn't flicking off the organization or fans who appreciated him enough to make him the highest paid safety in the entire NFL when he signed his contract 4 years ago. Oh, and by the way, his team is still going to pay him $10 million so he can sit on the sideline, go to rehab, and then sign with another team next year. You know, the same amount of money it would take the average American working 180 years in a row to make in just one season sitting on the sidelines. Now, obviously, you hope no one gets injured, but your team and the fans are taking care of you, Earl. And here's why this also destroys your team. It's not just about you. Teams have salary caps. They can't just pay everyone what they think they deserve. They had to cut people, adjust contracts, and do whatever they had to do to sign you those years ago. So instead of waiting until your contract is up while your organization is trying to take care of players who have earned their salary and their new contracts, you're stepping in there and saying, no, you know what? I know I agreed to this, but I think I deserve more now. Tell me what that does to a team, Earl. Now contrast that with quarterback Drew Brees, who is currently the 7th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. You know, a guy who had real trials and tribulation, the kind of guy who gets drafted, gets injured and cut by his team because he only has a 25% chance of ever throwing again. They didn't take care of him, did they? And goes on to be not the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, but arguably the most admired and respected after becoming the most prolific passer ever in the history of the NFL, throwing for more yards than any quarterback who has ever stepped onto a field. Not just being a good running back this year or a fun safety a few years ago, most yards ever. You know, the guy who came to a dying franchise and led them to a Super Bowl victory. My goodness, do the trials of sports say a lot about you and your character. Now, Drew Brees gave a great interview after this accomplishment, and I just want you to think of a few things. Tell me, who is more valuable to the team? Who would you rather play alongside? And who would you rather reward to be on your team? You'll notice a few things you don't hear about much, like gratitude, appreciation, self-accountability, and nothing about what he thinks he deserves. Check it out.
I know they're watching down on me at all times, and my kids, and just I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to play this game and to have played it for so long, and to have the teammates that I have and the New Orleans Saints organization and this great city and this great fan base. It's really been a dream come true.
Did you enjoy that video? Of course you enjoyed that video. So now you need to become a premium member to the Rebel. That way you have first access to Pure Hollywood and the entire Rebel lineup.